what do you know about women? Women are not looking for little boys who are taken care of by their mother. Okay?
Well, the woman who taught me to record in 5th grade when I went over there.
Okay. But women want a man, not a little boy, okay? So, the almonds and the bananas and the smoothies with mom, okay, we're going to lose that stuff, okay? Women want a guy who eats meat, okay? Man up, eat a steak. Get a nice juicy steak, man up, eat the steak, okay? Enough with the vegan and the vegetarian and the gay tendencies and thinking like a progressive. Man up, eat steak, right? Put up a wall and don't let Mexicans into the country. This is the kind of thinking that you have to have. You want women, you have to take charge, you got to put your foot down.
I want women, but I don't want to change. Like, I still want to...
You want a woman who, like, oh, I want a guy who just eats bananas and applesauce.
Yeah, but I have other skills. Like, I'm a great conversationalist. But look, I'm just looking for a woman who makes a lot of money.
Yeah, and a woman who makes a lot of money, she can have any guy on the planet. Why does she want Mr. Almond Joy?
Because of my, like, stimulating blog posts, and I'll give her Alexander whenever she needs it.
Okay, here.
She comes home from a long, hard day at work.
When she comes home from a long
Honey, you want a turn?
You know when she comes home from a long, hard day at work, you know what she wants?
A table turn.
A nice, juicy steak.
That's fine. I'm not going to cook it. But...
Okay, well, then you're out of it, because what does she need you for?
Well, I'm a great conversationalist.
She doesn't want a conversation. She's not starving for great conversation. She wants a steak.
Well, I got something else that she wants even more.
You're never going to get that far because she comes home from work. She doesn't want to hear about that right now. Right now, she just wants to feed her stomach, right? And that means a steak. And if you can take her out for a nice steak or prepare for her a nice steak, that's going to win you some points.
Yeah, but if you can make her scream in bed and have orgasm after orgasm, you hook her with the good sex, and then she hangs around.
For the almonds and little almonds and.
If you can make a woman laugh and make a woman come, you can keep her for life. Take it from me.
I admit, Where is she?
She's out picking up some more almonds and bananas.
Almonds and bananas. All right, next thing.
So the Torah says you'll eat as much as you want, something that Jews do, which is why so many of them are fat.
I have a different theory why they're so fat.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Are we talking males or females?
Both.
Okay. Females is easily explained. You ready for the female one?
Mm-hmm.
You spit out a kid, and then you have another kid right away. Now everybody knows you gain weight when you're pregnant, right?
Right.
You should have time off to go back to your normal weight.
Go back to the gym.
Go back to the gym, go back to your normal thing, right? But they don't. They just have another kid on top, so they never lose that weight. They just add on to it. So all these women who have like 12 kids, they usually have a belly to show for it. You know, their body size reflects that, and it's very sad. And so it's like slow down on the reproductive thing. You got to slow that. You got to slow that. Back that stuff up. You got to slow down with that. You know, that's really out of control. Nowhere in the Torah does it say you have to keep firing them. Rapid firing them, like, you know. Like you go to a target range, and if it's a decent target range, and a guy starts rapid firing, go like, you'll hear an announcement over the labu. Can the guy in lane 3 stop rapid firing? Okay, because that's what I would like to do if, you never heard that?
Why don't they want you to rapid fire?
Maybe because I'm not really sure the reason. Maybe because
probably not safe.
Yeah, it's not safe. You may lose control.
Yeah.
Something, you know what I mean? The second shot, you know, you may have recoil, and the second shot veers a little bit. I don't know. But I would like to have an announcement to all these people that don't wait in between kids. Is like, hey, can the couple in the huge SUV that's stopping traffic, no more rapid firing?
But we need kids. Jews need frum kids. Like, so we don't give Hitler posthumous victories.
Oh, that's the nationalist argument. Nationalism, I spoke about this last week. Nationalism is not a Jewish concept. That's a Goyish concept. Torah does not talk about that. Torah does not say you have an obligation to make up for the fact that your population has been decimated in the past by goyim. It never says that. We don't have to. If we lose 90% of our people, we don't have to make that up by having 90% turnover. You know what I mean? We don't have to reproduce those people. It never says that. A man has an obligation to reproduce. That's minimum. The minimum is 3 people, 3 kids, 1 of each gender. Some opinions say 4, with 1 of each gender. Then you're done. Nowhere in the Torah does it say to have more than that. Nowhere. The concept of we have to have as many Jews as possible so that the Arabs don't outnumber us and stuff like that. That is not Judaism. That is Jewish nationalism. That's not part of Torah. That's a Goyish concept. It also shows the lack of emunah in God. Because God should take care of you. You don't have to worry about replenishing the earth with Jews for whatever, so we don't get decimated. Anyone who thinks that we're going to be decimated is someone who doesn't believe in Torah. Because God says He's promised us that He's going to give us, we're not going to be decimated. We're not going to be annihilated. There will always be somebody left to come back and claim Eretz Yisrael later, when the Mashiach comes. To say, we're going to be wiped out, is to deny that part of Torah, and it just shows ignorance. It's a little, perhaps a heresy as well. Because it's almost like you're going against the idea of the Mashiach coming. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
What was I saying, though, before that? Because you interrupted on a point I was making. Something we were talking about. What was that? How do we get... overweight. Men overweight. There's all these holidays that you can't work out. Shabbos you can't work out. Yom Kippur you can't work out. Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah. All these days where you don't work out. What do you do instead? You eat. You eat and you don't work out. You know what that means? That's how you end up fat. What should a Jew be doing? You should be sitting. Sitting. Yeshiva means sitting. So we sit and we sit and we sit, That's where Alexander comes in. Teaches how to sit properly, right? But that's why Jews are fat.
You heard that new study that said sitting is as bad as smoking?
No, you said that.
No, there's a study that came out the last couple of months that says sitting is as bad as smoking.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Even if you sit well. Even if you sit well. Sitting is just inherently bad for you. Even if you go run 6 miles afterwards. You sit 8 hours a day, it's bad for you.
Oh, 8 hours a day.
Even if you do, 6 miles of jogging afterwards.
Really?
Sitting hour after hour is just bad.
Well, how come Jews been sitting in basement? Our whole world has always been sitting and learning Torah. So how do you explain that? Why would God...
it hasn't always been our whole world. It's been the whole world of an elite.
No! We're in the desert. Every Jew was sitting and learning all day long. How do you explain that? Of course, we didn't have chairs out in the desert. We probably
had chairs, so...
We sat on the ground, probably.
Or standing up.
Or we stood up, right. And then we all moved into Eretz Yisrael, and there was the huge Torah academies of the Gedolim, right? And I imagine we all sat in there.
But there are no chairs. Chairs haven't been around for thousands of years.
So what did we sit on back then?
We stood up. Or we sat on the floor, or we squatted. Like India, they still squat.
So you're saying in the great Torah academies, the great yeshivas, of Rav, let's say in the times of the Gemara, 1,000 years we're in Babylon learning Torah every day in these academies. That's all the Jews did, was they learned. Talmud says, when the Jews were in Babylon, we could learn all day long. It was like a huge bracha that we went to Babylon. This is the weird part, Levi. Wait till you hear this. We didn't have to work for a living because it was not all the food was subsidized. God gave us this plentiful amount of food. Why? Because we ate the carobs and the dates that were right there on the trees. Everybody just went out, took a break, got them, went back in yeshiva. And that's all we ate for 1,000 years was carobs and dates. And I'm thinking, Levi would have loved this. He'd been, where's my banana and my almonds? Right?
What's the Shema says? It says when you're walking by the way, when you're lying down, and when you
rise up.
Is that it? That's just
V'shinantam levanecha, that you should teach them to your children. V'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veisecha, when you should learn them when you're sitting in your house.
Oh, does it say sitting?
V'shivtecha, when you're sitting in your house.
Does it mean on chairs, or could you be squatting?